Our topic for today is our attitude and behaviors towards sex. Maybe for the starting point, what is an attitude?
It's a kind of perception that people have towards a certain thing, maybe towards women or towards men. Yeah.
I think it's personal beliefs that one holds. They're attached to, for example, the way the person was raised, what was considered right or wrong. Yeah, so it's got something to do with beliefs.
And we've heard that attitudes can be perceptions, it can be personal belief. Okay. Then move on. What are behaviors?
Behavior, I think, is something that somebody portrays. He believes, but he also had an action of portraying. That he portrays like, this is what I believe, it does that. That's a behavior.
It could also be putting the attitudes into action. This is like acting your...
So what then are our attitudes towards sex in Malawi?
We expect men to share sex. Because like a woman can share sex. But we have that an attitude that always men has to share sex. Though you feel it as a woman, but you have to wait for
I feel in Malawi what happens is everything that has to do with sex is usually left in the hands of the man. If, for example, initiating sex or even in the act of sex itself, it's left for the man to kind of like decide what to do. If he's got something new, it's expected of him to bring it out. So everything that has to do with sex is decided.
The satisfaction of sex, women are there to satisfy their men, because looking at like initiation ceremonies for girls, they are actually taught how to please their men sexually. So it's like it's the duty of the girl not to initiate but satisfy.
Thing of leaving everything to the men. How does it put us at risk of HIV AIDS?
It was saying like what you first explained, it was condoms. Like who proposes the use of condoms? It is left to the man. The woman cannot ask for the man to use a condom. As such, she's putting herself at risk of sexually transmitted infections, which is inclusive of HIV.
Another thing is there's this kind of like attitude that once you're married, you have sex. For the woman, you have sex to have kids. So despite maybe, for example, you're suspicious of your husband, maybe of straying, things like that, because you have that attitude that, oh, I am supposed to have kids, you want to be able to initiate condom use as well, even if you know that you're putting yourself at risk. There isn't that chance for you.
So what then really is our behaviors towards sex, if any, and if there are any that put us at risk towards HIV AIDS and the abuse of our gender and sexual rights?
I think some behavior that put us at risk is like what the society expects from women, to be submissive to their husband. It's another thing that puts women at risk, because whatever the husband says, they have to take that. And because of that, they have to submit, they have to portray themselves as if they are good or they need it. It's something that whenever a man says, I need sex, they can't say no. They'll just give themselves to them, they sleep with them. By sleeping with them without, like what others, my friends have already said, negotiating for condom use, they'll like have more infection to the HIV AIDS, rather than if they were in a position to stand up and say, we use a condom. If they were in a position to stand up, oh, I don't feel like having sex today, in a way of knowing their rights, expressing their rights, expressing how they feel about themselves, they'll be in a position to say they will not increase the infection. But because they are submissive,
we act out because of the attitudes that we have towards women, or the society has towards women. As such, maybe, for example, a woman has no power to say, okay, I don't want to have sex now. Okay, so you end up, because I'm a man, I just have to force sex on my wife. That's my little sex, and that's the behavior that is coming out from the attitude, and it also puts the women at risk of HIV infection, because you see maybe the woman saying, I don't want to have sex because he doesn't trust the husband. He feels like the husband has been going around, well, I want to have safe sex. I want you to use a condom. And if the man is saying, I don't want to use a condom, then the woman is at a risk and the HIV infection is there already.
All right. We just saw
it happens that there are not women who take the bodies, who are so confused about themselves in acts of sex. But because of the perception that the husband has, or what they are told, or how they have been brought up, they still think it's not good for a woman to be safe for sex. And in that case, as we have seen in the improvisation,